This video started a massive YouTube feud between channels that have racked in billions of views and ended up turning a large portion of one of their audiences against them. And the main part of this feud revolves around some GoFundMes that raised over $100,000 for a family in West Virginia. Because as we just found out, there is no money left. Okay, so how did we get here? Well, it all starts off with YouTuber Tyler Oliveira, who you may remember I covered in a video about a year ago when he accidentally caught YouTube's largest plagiarizer, Brent Rivera, in action at some haunted hotel. Then I guess what was supposed to be some haunted challenge video turned into an investigating a fake prankster video. And after this video, he did a very large pivot from challenge videos to investigation videos. So he essentially shows up to an interesting spot, investigates, and makes some entertainment around it. But before we get into the details of what happened here, there's some clear budgeting issues that we're going to cover in this video, and that's where today's sponsor, Rocket Money, comes in handy, because I recently started using Rocket Money to track my spending better, and that definitely helped me track a bunch of spending I didn't even know was there, like multiple streaming services I was paying for, but not even using. Thankfully, Rocket Money is the personal finance app that allows you to cancel subscriptions, lower bills, and manage your money better. So it's very nice to see a breakdown of where every dollar is going to in my monthly budget, allowing me to analyze my family's spending habits and create a custom budget that works for everyone. So if you want to save more and spend less, you can join over the 5 million members using Rocket Money today by going to rocketmoney.com/Atozy, which is in the top of the description down below to get started for free. But without further ado, let's continue this video. So on March 3rd, 2024, Tyler uploads this video titled, "I investigated the poorest region of America." This video is about him investigating life in the Appalachians, specifically in the West Virginian part of them. And that area can get depressing real quick. I drive a lot through it because I frequent Snowshoe Mountain in West Virginia. And there's a clear lack of jobs, resulting in some extreme poverty. Going into this region is like going into a time capsule that's stuck in the 80s, because that's when it seems like the last updates were made there. So the first 19 minutes of Tyler's video is him showing how things really are there. But the controversial part of this video started after those 19 minutes, where he goes to Odd, West Virginia to meet a somewhat famous inbred family on the internet known as the Whittakers. The channel that made them known to the world is Soft White Underbelly, who's ran by Mark.
Might be wondering why I've driven all across West Virginia to meet these people. A couple years ago, I saw this video on YouTube titled Inbred Family, The Whittakers, where this guy, Mark Laita, records his interaction with a family suffering a long history of inbreeding.
Do you remember anything about your life? Hey. And you lost your other brother.
Intrigued, I reached out to Mark Laita to see if he could introduce me to them, and he responded with this. "Hi, Tyler. Soft White Underbelly has an exclusive contract with the Whittaker family for all content creation. We are also currently in talks about a television series with a broadcast network. Thank you so much for thinking of us. Noel, Soft White Underbelly."
So I guess Tyler started poking around when it seemed that this YouTube channel had the exclusive rights to this family. And this is where the feud starts.
9 days later, he uploaded this to his YouTube channel.
This is not I'm not trying to create a TV show where we're doing follow-ups on people, because I could easily do that. I try to resist doing that. Because people, like, I see the comments sometimes, "Oh, you're just exploiting these people."
Now, assuming this contract even exists, it immediately raises a red flag when you consider that Mark has made 13 videos with the Whittakers with a combined total of 89.13 million views. In every one of these videos, Mark currently has a GoFundMe link with the mission to help the Whittaker family purchase a new home, with $55,692 raised thus far, in addition to a previous 2022 GoFundMe that generated $12,000 for a new house. And for those preferring other ways to donate, you can also PayPal or Cash App Mark Laita directly. With $77K and however much else was sent to Mark directly, there's another GoFundMe to help the over 7,000 people who have been interviewed for the Soft White Underbelly channel, with $48,000 total raised on it right now. Who gets any of this money and how is it divided, we'll never know.
So what I'm interested in here is, did Tyler record this bit after he talked to the Whittakers or before? Because either way, punches were thrown here. First, Tyler hears a no that they're actually signed to the Soft White Underbelly. So then when he's suddenly welcome to come visit, I can see why he had questions about the money, as the guy had raised money but provided zero update on where the money is, / if it's still going to a house for them. Because as we're about to see, they still live in terrible conditions. But first, Tyler's gonna throw in a few more jabs.
With a minimum of $77K raised directly for the house, in addition to however much was sent to Mark directly via Cash App and PayPal, and however much money generated from, let's say, just the first video he made with the Whittakers, an extremely conservative estimate of $82,000, assuming a $2 RPM, we have a minimum of $159,000 in the home fund here. And there just so happens to be a house for sale right now in Odd, West Virginia, where they live, currently listed for $139,000. So why don't don't they have a new house?
Remember I asked if he recorded this before or after visiting the house? Because to me, it seems like he went in a little too hard. Maybe out of frustration after seeing the conditions the Whittakers were living in. Because there is a lot of jabs here. The dude is straight up wombo comboing the guy. But Tyler goes to visit them, and it seems like they live in a trailer home that's falling apart. So he asks about the house Soft White Underbelly was raising money for.
How's the house coming along?
What house? I don't know what house. What you have to Mark about the house?
What did Mark say about the house? Paige wants to get an update.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think he's...
Mark told we ain't got no more money in there. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, he always told us.
From my understanding, there's like, I don't know, $50,000 or $60,000 in there. Has Mark given you guys an update?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you guys have talked to Mark?
I talked to Mark the other day.
The other day? Okay.
Okay, so at least they've kept in contact. Apparently there's no more money, and that money clearly didn't go to a house. So Tyler then made his own GoFundMe and funded it with $10,000 of his own money. And then I guess he challenged Soft White Underbelly to combine the funds and give it to the Whittakers.
I started a GoFundMe linked in this video's description and donated $10,000 of my own money. If you feel moved by these innocent souls and want to help them live their elderly years in peace, feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMes, and let's get the Whittakers a new house for reals.
Yeah, that could have been done in a way nicer way. So as you can guess, Mark wasn't too happy about Tyler attacking his honor without hard proof. But it seemed like the Soft White Underbelly team did lie when it came to the exclusive contract. And as we previously stated, Mark runs the massive channel known as Soft White Underbelly, and over there he interviews and portraits all types of people. But by far his most popular series on the channel has been on the Whittakers, and he just dropped a response video to Tyler titled, "Whittakers GoFundMe, the problem with social media."
This GoFundMe that I've had for years, since I've been interviewing the family, has generated a lot of money for the family. It was always designed to help them with their living expenses, and then like end of last year, we changed it to, we started a new GoFundMe, and I tried to start a new one so it would look like this is how much money we're going to get for the house. And as we accumulated money for that, I was thinking, hey, we're getting closer to our goal. But the problem has been that Betty and Larry will call me every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and say, hey, we need money for a car. Larry wrecked his car. We need a new car. We need food. We need this. We need that. It's always an emergency, and they need money. And it is their money, that this money is, all these donations are for the Whittakers. And when they tell me they need money, what am I going to say? No, you can't have it. We're saving it for a house. So I give them the money. Sometimes it's $5,000. Sometimes it's $4,000. Sometimes it's $6,000, or one time it was $14,000. Sometimes it's $3,000 or $2,000. But it adds up. Every few weeks, I'm getting another phone call. We need more money. We need more money. We need more money. And I wire transfer it to Betty. I'll show you a screenshot of my bank account and all the wire transfers that I sent to Betty. These are all going from my account to Betty Whittaker's account at the, I think, Chase Bank. I think it is in Beckley, West Virginia.
Yeah, I don't think this is a situation that either of these YouTubers were ready to handle, as there's now been $100,000 being sent to this family in a little over a year, and they still live like that.
Money that's in these accounts gets depleted. It's always happened with them, where it looks, you look at the GoFundMe, it's generating money. All of a sudden there's 55,000. Oh, we're getting closer. No, you're not, because they took out 5 and they took out 6 and they took out 8 and then they took out 14, then they took out 3, and it keeps it low. It's 0 right now. It's been 0 for a few months. Larry and Betty have called me and asked me for money. I've given it to them out of my own personal bank account, not out of their GoFundMe donations, because I like helping the family. But without the ability to stop spending and start saving, we're never going to get close to that house.
Yeah, this is rough. But I mean, if you're raising money for a house, it should be going to the house. Unless the GoFundMe says they're raising money for an emergency fund. But I completely see how draining this can be for Mark, as it's a family that's clearly in need that he feels obligated to help. But then other things apparently complicated the house project.
When the house came up also, I think they brought up a house that was across the street from them.
Right next door.
Yeah, and when we looked it up, it was over $200,000. So we knew.
I don't think they want to leave their neighborhood.
Right.
So they like the house next door. It's a nice house. It's expensive for the neighborhood, but whatever. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's hard to help people who make it hard to help them. But then he addressed Tyler.
This is about this video that Tyler Oliveira created. Basically, it's there are people on social media that create these like scandal stories They're not factual.
It's misinformation.
They're misinformation. They're making up facts to create a scandal. Like, wouldn't it be juicy if White Underbelly was collecting GoFundMe donations and not, he was keeping the money? Ooh, that'd be a really juicy story. So that's what he designed. He didn't ask me. He never called me. He did call me once to ask me if I give them my contact info, but I don't want to give out the contact info of everybody I interview. You know, how many requests for the Whittaker contact info did we get back then?
So many. It would have ruined their life if all the people got their
So we have to figure out a way to keep everybody from just going to the house and it becoming like a problem for them.
Yeah.
So I made up excuses why I'm not going to give out the contact information.
Okay, so he just admitted to lying to Tyler here. Going back in time, in hindsight, it would just be better to not respond to Tyler. And with hindsight as well, if he just kept the GoFundMe updated on where the money was going, he wouldn't really be in the situation because Tyler wouldn't really have a story then.
This is what these people do. He's just one of many that create these scandalous stories. And it's like, ooh, he could have easily contacted me. He says, hey, Mark, my name's Tyler. I'm doing a video on the Whittakers or on the GoFundMe. Tell me what's going on with that. And I would have said, yeah, I give them money at least once or twice a month, sometimes 5,000, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. And it adds up. And it's depleting the reserve of money that we're trying to build for the house. So now it's basically right around zero, and we wait for more donations, and then I give them the money. That would have killed his whole story.
That's right.
Because what he wanted was to make me look like I'm not giving them the money. They've gotten every single cent of any money that was ever donated. I have to pay the taxes, and everything else goes to them. That's always been the case with my channel's general GoFundMe as well as the Whittakers GoFundMe.
Yeah, again, so if he would have updated the GoFundMe earlier, Tyler wouldn't have had a story at all. Because the Whittakers didn't notify Tyler about this when Tyler was there. They just said they didn't know where the money was.
Yeah, it's just freedom of speech and the internet to combined are dangerous. But that's the world we have now. So people are getting used to it, and they know, oh, this is just a hater or it's BS. And I think a lot of people smell BS when they see this kind of stuff. But some people don't know my reputation. They don't know who I am. And they'll hear a story like this and think, yeah, he's a scammer. He's a con artist. He's keeping the money for the GoFundMe. And I'm sure there's people that are going to believe it, even though I'm showing you the proof in this video. That's just the nature of human beings, I think.
Okay, I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like freedom of speech on the internet definitely has way more benefits than negatives. And clearly, Mark isn't a scammer. This dude has helped this family out more than anyone. Because I can only assume $100,000 over the span of a year has changed the lives of this family. Like, the only thing Mark is guilty for is not updating the GoFundMe and, I guess, lying about the contract he had with the family.
Look at the Whittakers' lives. Their lives are so much better since I came into it. Their lives have improved greatly since I came into it. And the reason for that is because I'm kind and generous, and I'm helpful. And when they needed help, I came through for them every single time. The fact that Betty comes on stood in front of his cameras and said, when he asked what happened with the money, she goes, I don't know. Come on. Betty knows exactly where that money went. She calls me every 2-3 weeks to ask me for more. And I always ask her, like, what are you doing with all this money? You're living in West Virginia. How can you spend so much money like this? And she goes, I need it. And it's her money, so I give it to her.
I still feel like there should be some responsibility when you decide to raise money for someone, though. Yes, I get it's the family's money. But if you raise the money for a house, and at the very least, the people donating should know where this money is going. Like, I did a GoFundMe in 2022 for my lawsuit, as many of you guys remember. That GoFundMe was only for the defense of my lawsuit. As soon as that lawsuit was dropped, I refunded everyone's money. Because when you raise money, the money should be going to the cause you're raising it for.
Between her and Larry, there's a lot of money flowing out of that GoFundMe, and it's down to zero now. So I'm actually going to discontinue my GoFundMes for the Whittakers. I probably won't even do videos with them anymore. It's just it's left such a bad taste in my mouth after all this. There's other things that are interesting for me in the world. So I just it leaves a really bad taste in my mouth after just what just happened. Like, nobody came to my defense and said, hey, Mark gives us a lot of help, a lot of money. Nobody said that.
Okay, Tyler attacked his honor, and the Whittakers kind of betrayed him by telling Tyler they didn't know where the money was. This might have been to gain sympathy from Tyler to get money from him as well, or we can just blame it on them being slow. But if I was in Mark's shoes, I would definitely feel betrayed by the Whittakers here. Because raising $100,000 for someone and giving it to them and not having them mention that, I'd be upset. Because they made it seem like he didn't give them too much.
I'm just going to create videos. If you like them, watch them. If you don't, don't. I'm not here to, if I'm going to help somebody, I'm going to do it privately. I'm not going to tell anybody about it. This is not a helping channel, as I've said before. I might be a helping person, but this channel is not about me. It's about the people that are sitting in this chair normally. So that's what's going on. I'm sorry that this happened. A lot of people got confused and thought maybe I'm a scammer or a con artist. I'm not. This is just a case where this young YouTuber who's doing some irresponsible journalism decided not to get any input from me and just decided to take a story and run with it because he knew it was going to get a lot of views, which it has. I take the hit on that. My reputation gets tarnished. He makes a lot of money. I mean, I guess it helps me because I make a lot of money too when people see these stories and they go to my channel to comment something terrible about how I'm evil and terrible. But that's just social media. It's frustrating, but that's the world we live in.
I see why he's frustrated. Tyler definitely attacked him without being 100% sure. But it doesn't really come across to me like Tyler was trying to use this to gain views because it wasn't in the title, it wasn't in the thumbnail, and it was in the last 7 minutes of a 30-minute video. I feel like the video would have gotten a similar amount of views either way. Obviously, this has been a draining endeavor for Mark, but he definitely made some very good money off of this series on the Whittakers as the series totaled 80 million views. But this might have been the straw that broke the camel's back when it came to him dealing with his family. Because again, I would feel very betrayed if the family didn't even mention the fact that he raised and gave them $100,000. But Tyler made a response video to his response.
All right, update on the Whittakers and Mark Laita. 1 day ago, I uploaded a video about West Virginia. In the last 7 minutes of the video, I go to the Whittakers' house, drop off some groceries, and I ask Betty Whittaker what's going on with the house and where is the money. I'm referring to a GoFundMe set up by Mark Laita where he raised $77,000 from the generous donations of many people watching his videos with the Whittakers, with the intent to buy the Whittakers a new home. The title of the GoFundMe is Help the Whittakers Purchase a New Home. Now, I asked Betty what's going on with the money. She says, Mark says we've run out of money. What house? What do you mean, basically? So I uploaded this to my video, and I open-endedly asked Mark, what's going on with the GoFundMe? Where's the money? I did not accuse him of doing anything. I did not call him names. I merely asked the question I myself was curious about, and thousands of other people in Mark's own channel have asked him, and I would imagine that includes many people who have donated to the cause.
I mean, Tyler, you didn't only ask.
Feel free to donate below. Mark, if you have any honor, let's combine whatever my viewers and I raise, your two GoFundMes, and let's get the Whittakers a new house for reals. Okay?
Mark, if you have any honor, that's a jab. That's a whoosh. Like, I get he was probably frustrated from seeing how they live in these conditions. And then the Whittakers just straight up said, I don't know where the money is. So, I mean, that would get someone very frustrated if you're seeing this. But either way, that's definitely an offensive move. It's not just asking.
Which is to help buy them a new home. Which brings me to my next point. Mark uploads a video to his channel where he says he's transferred over $100,000 worth of his viewers' donations to Betty Whittaker. There is no money left in the accounts, and they would constantly ask for the money, and he would send it to them. There's no money in the GoFundMes left for a house, which was the entire goal of the GoFundMe. My problem with this is, A, he could have just updated the viewers every couple months, or every video with the Whittakers, hey, we're actually using these to keep the Whittakers alive. When they ask for it, I send it to them. That simple. The goal of getting them this house is not real, nor will it ever materialize. And just been upfront and honest with, hey, this isn't for the house. This is just for them. If you want to donate to them, here it is. Cool. I would have had no problem with that. But that's not what he did. Any donor sending money to that GoFundMe is under the impression it is going towards the larger purchase of a home, not for random living expenses that Mark will send their way in the chunks of $4,000 to $5,000 every two weeks to a month.
I agree with this, but not the next statement.
I'm asking a very basic update question of, hey, there's a lot of people that have donated to this GoFundMe. What's going on with the money? Pure, simple, cut and dry. Didn't accuse him of being a scammer. Didn't call many names. I merely asked what was going on here.
Again, attacking his honor isn't just asking a question. Because I feel like Tyler would have looked so much better if he just asked the question. Now, if Mark replied or not, that would be up to Mark. Because there was a lot of unknown here, and it's not like one of those like blockchain project situations where you can clearly see the money is gone. In this case, the money was definitely not gone because not only did he show the receipts that he sent all the money, but he also paid the taxes on it for him, plus sent them some of his personal money.
I never intended this to be a personal attack towards Mark. I think it was a very reasonable question that I and many other people had of what's going on with this money, what's the update. His response to all this is interesting.
But you did attack his honor, and he was offended, and he threw some jabs back, and now Tyler is doubling down. He's now raising money for the Whittakers as well. So I guess we now have one YouTuber passing the torch of raising money for the Whittakers to another YouTuber. Overall, weird situation that could have been completely avoided if Tyler asked Mark before posting the video. The approach could have been a little bit more collaborative rather than offensive towards Mark as well. And Mark should have been more transparent with the GoFundMe, but Tyler is now fighting a battle that doesn't make too much sense to me. I see that Tyler wants to help, but I feel like he could have been way more collaborative with the guy who already raised the family $100,000. Mark seems to already have been fed up with the situation, and now with the addition of feeling betrayed by the Whittakers, I understand why he decided to leave it there. And Tyler has now raised $16,500 for the Whittakers. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens next, but either way, this was just another interesting internet moment. But I mean, hey, at least none of them faked an attack and reported it to the Taiwanese police like this streamer did for attention. So that's also quite the interesting story you could check out here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.